guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is episode 5 of Beyond the Campus series. Today I have a very special guest. Let me tell you, she is multi-talented person. She is a content creator, strong personal brand on LinkedIn and EY and whatnot. So first of all, welcome Kajal. Oh, CA Kajal. Could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks, Ruchi, for having me. And for my introduction, I would like to say that I'm a chartered accountant and I'm working with EY since past 2 years. Like after I became CI, since then I've been working with EY in transfer pricing and international tax
Wow.
department. And apart from that, I'm also a content creator on LinkedIn where I share my journey and experiences for people who have experienced failure so that they can get through and clear CA. And for those who couldn't, I also share learnings for them. So
Wow.
yeah, that's that.
That is so amazing. Like, I love people who, share their journeys on LinkedIn because you get to learn. And the best way to learn is either book or social media. And social media is much more handy than the books right now. So,
Right.
if I talk about the EY, what is your role? What is your, position? What do you actually do?
So basically, I'm a consultant right now,
Hmm.
and what we do is we provide consultancy to big MNCs.
Okay.
And big MNCs, why? Because transfer pricing is a concept which only applies to companies which have their like branches in other countries, right?
Hmm.
So the companies which generally have branches are huge. So
Right.
we provide tax consultancies to them. We basically transfer pricing is understanding the business first and applying tax later. Rather,
Okay.
you don't apply exactly what you study. You have to study the business first and then apply.
Okay.
So my work as a consultant is actually to help the clients there.
Okay, so basically, this are like huge terms for a college student. This particular podcast series is basically for a second or a third year college student. And now they will be having certain doubts in mind what exactly is transfer pricing. Now, if you could just pick an example from your, job, I understand that you can't take the name of the client. Just
Right.
give and relay example that, dude, this is how the project came, this is how I added value, and this was the output. If you could explain this to a college student.
So, first of all, for a college student, I think
Hmm.
understanding transfer pricing will be a task because we study it in while
Right.
doing CA, and
Right.
also like we don't study it very deep. So
Hmm.
we only study it when we apply it in a job. So transfer pricing concept is basically, for example, there are two parties, right? So I am company A. My
Hmm.
branch is in US, for example, company B,
Okay.
and this is C, that is a third party customer, right?
Okay.
So A sells to the its own branch, which is B, and
Hmm.
also sells to C, which is a
Okay.
third party customer, right?
Right.
So what we do is, if I'm selling to C at 100
Hmm.
and I'm selling to my related party, which is my own branch,
Right.
I'm selling to it, say 98.
98. Okay.
So what we do is we analyze. So why are we selling to B at a lesser price, and why are we
Hmm.
selling to C at a higher price, and
100
vice
price
versa.
and 98.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and vice versa. So basically what we have to ensure for the, and what tax authorities want us to ensure is basically that we should not give an undue advantage to our related party, right? We
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
have to,
Hmm.
so for example, if I'm selling it to 98, there are various, to my related party at 98. There are various factors to consider. For example, they may be giving me huge order, consistent orders, whereas the
Right.
C customer is a one-time customer.
Right. Right.
They're giving me the timeline, more timeline for payments, whereas
Hmm.
he is not doing so. So there are various factors to consider, and then we calculate the arm's length price. Arm's length is whether we are selling it to the right price as compared to third party or not. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
do this analysis, and we apply various methods to ensure that the price we are selling it to our party is
Hmm.
on arm's length, and there are no tax violations in terms of that. So that's a
Wow.
big gist.
I know for a lot of viewers, it would be like too much. Guys, go back like 2 minutes. before and just try to understand, make a flow chart. But being a ECCA student, I understood it very easily. But if you are hearing this term for the very first time, even when I heard it for the first time, I would like, sir, repeat. This is what happens in the
I
transfer pricing. So how's
know.
your like job and what does a typical day look like? Is it very, hectic? Because you will have to analyze a lot of different things in order to calculate that transfer price, whether it is correct or not, what is the arm's length, why. So is it like too hectic? Is it interesting, or what exactly it is?
So I won't say hectic all the time. So
Hmm.
it depends on the time of the year, right? So
Okay.
we have a season from October to November,
Hmm.
because the deadline we have to file the transfer
Right.
pricing form, and the master file, we have to file the master file. So that is in October and November. So
Okay.
those 2 months are pretty hectic.
Hmm.
And then after that, it is based on assignment basis. Like if there's an advisory, or something urgent comes up, or there are tax assessments going on for the transfer pricing study we prepare. So
Right.
accordingly, it's manageable, but October and November are pretty hectic. So it depends on the
Okay.
month of
So
the
just
year.
like audit people, you guys also have a, busy and lean
Season.
season. Like
Yes, agreed,
EY,
agreed.
everybody in EY is fed up in some part of months, that I can say, right? So
Yeah, we have to
let
be prepared.
right.
Hmm.
So let's say if I, have a student who is having like first day in office, what should he expect in that, in your field, that he is consultant and now he has to deal with transfer pricing? What would be his first day look like? Too many terms coming in, too many seniors talking, or what exactly will it look like in EY?
So even when I had a little experience in transfer pricing, but
Hmm.
when I joined, so it wasn't like, first of all, the EY join karna, it's big. You feel like you're in a different world.
Right.
Everything is like so modern, and you're like, where am I? This is not relatable at all, because articleship. I
Exactly.
had my articleship from a mediocre firm. So
Okay.
joining EY was like, like I was in an episode of Suits.
Oh,
So,
really?
so it was actually like that,
Yes.
because and that the experience is altogether different. But as a transfer pricing consultant, you also feel clueless, like what am I doing? Because transfer pricing is very niche. It's like
Hmm.
this is direct tax, and then this is international tax, and transfer pricing is like this, a part of
Hmm.
it. So it's very niche. And to be honest, it's not like people, seniors are bombarding you with questions. Since you are a CA, you've joined, you're not expected to know everything. In
Right.
fact, for the first 2 years, even if as a consultant, you're open to ask as many questions you want, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can grow, and for higher levels, and to mentor other juniors like my senior did. So actually, it also depends on your team. So it's not
Okay.
like you're just bombarded with work. They actually give you a brief, like what you're expected of, and how you can start from a basic level to reach at a higher level, right?
Right.
So it's very, I think it's very supportive of them. So I think it's not something to worry about if you join as a someone new at such a big firm. So I think you'll enjoy it, and the learning process is also very nice.
I completely agree with you. Like when I joined EYGDS, you have that fear, dude. I am going in Big Four. What would be my expectation? How my first day would look like? So you need to calm down because you have certain honeymoon period as well, where you can enjoy and where you can learn and where you can actually take a deep breath and experience the world. So it's
I agree.
good thing about Big Four that they give you time to settle in, right? They just don't bombard you on the very first day. Dude, लग जाओ, तैयारी शुरू हो गई है तुम्हारी.
I know. सही
ऐसे
बात
नहीं होता है.
है, ऐसा नहीं
Okay,
होता है.
now let's go back one step before. Let's say a person is sitting for an interview. Now, what do you think he should know? Because there would be certain question. If you are coming into transfer pricing profile, an interviewer will definitely ask you, basic, what is it? Give me an example to explain it. That would be certain that student has an idea. What else he should know? Like, ma'am, ये थोड़ा prepare करके आते हैं तो थोड़ा अच्छा interview जा सकता है. What would be those?
So basically, as someone new in this profession, I was new. So I
Okay.
actually talked to people on LinkedIn, like how should I prepare for the interview?
Hmm.
And only after my experience, I've also started sharing on LinkedIn what went in my interview. So
Okay. Okay.
before joining EY, I also gave interview in transfer pricing in other big fours also.
Okay.
So somewhere I was rejected, somewhere I was accepted. So how that went, I've also shared that on my
Hmm.
profile. And it's actually as a newbie or as a fresher, you're not very expected to know, the experience of dealing with a transfer pricing client, right?
Okay.
Or not knowing the big terms, it's fine. You just need to know like all the sections you must be aware of, like
Hmm.
income tax, all the sections. Since you're obviously joining, coming for a job, you're
Yeah.
expected to at least know the theoretical part of it, not if
Right.
not the practical. So you're expected to know the theoretical part, and they might, like, for example, I give you ABC example,
Hmm.
right? So they give me these scenarios, like if this happens, what will be the arm's length price?
Good.
If this happens, what will be the arm's length price? So accordingly, the interview will judge you if you have the capability to understand the business and not the transfer pricing. Because
Okay.
when you understand business, you understand transfer pricing.
Transfer
It's
price.
yeah, the person who took my interview, he actually told me that I'm not asking you any sections. I'm just like getting to know how you understand a business. So
Okay.
I think, yeah,
So basically, you don't have to be scared about big terms coming
yeah,
up in the interview. You need to have the broad mindset as to what will happen in a business and what should be there. Like it should be your general knowledge, should be your skills, right?
that too. And the theoretical part you have to be aware of, like what is transfer pricing,
Yeah,
what is
that is
associated
basic.
enterprises, what is ALP, that basic in terms you should be aware of. And when does transfer pricing apply? So the
Hmm.
limits and that technical part you have to be prepared for in an interview.
Right, because you are sitting for an interview. You cannot just go,
Obviously.
bombard with like general knowledge. You need to have
Exactly.
technical knowledge as well. That's
Right.
amazing. Now, enough of the transfer pricing. Let's go back to your CA journey. How is your CA journey? What does it look like? What were certain challenges? Because last guest on episode 4 was also a CA. So he
Okay.
shared a good experience. If you could explain your experience, how is it and how is your journey?
So I think my CA journey, my LinkedIn journey is a result of my CA journey. So I'll tell you why. Because I was a topper in school, right? I was
Okay.
like first, always first, and participating in basketball
Hmm.
competitions, debate, like an all-rounder.
Wow.
And then you enter, and I also did regular college, but
Okay.
then you enter CA and you see failure for the first time. So
Right.
CPT I cleared in my first attempt.
Okay.
IPCC second group took me 5 attempts while I
Oh
was still in
God.
college. So that was like a huge deal breaker for me, because I was actually questioning my decision of continuing CA. But then since I had regular college, so I let it go. Like,
Hmm.
it's okay. I'm just, and even though I did CA, but for the first 2 years, I enjoyed my college life. Like, I didn't want to just go and
True
just
and
after 12th be in like study, because in CA you have to
right.
be very, very disciplined. You have to leave everything, not attend family functions, just be in a room and study for
My
10 to 12
God.
hours.
This scares me, especially after half CA, series that has come up, it has scared me more for CA people.
But that is actually very relatable, because that is what we go through as a CA student. So and you see the like part that hurts is that you see your colleagues who are from your school or college. Someone is doing an MBA, someone is actually doing a job, and you're just
Right.
in that CA journey, studying, giving exams, failing, studying, and that also puts a lot of mental pressure. And being a topper, my parents also like felt like, what has happened? Like, she was a topper, why isn't she
ये
able
क्या
to
हो
clear?
गया एकदम से?
I know. बहुत ही तो पेरेंट्स एक्सपेक्टेशंस, तुम्हारी खुद की एक्सपेक्टेशंस बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं. But then IPCC happened, and then I joined a article. So now I was left with two options, since I've done my IPCC.
Hmm.
And do I want to continue CA? So if yes, I have to join articleship. If no,
Right.
then I have to prepare for CAT. So for MBA. So either ways, I had like I have to work like hard for both the fields.
Both
So
the
since
things.
I'm already halfway through my CA, so why
Right.
not continue that? So
Exactly.
I joined articleship, and after I started preparing for my finals, then COVID came in my attempt. So my
Okay.
articleship got over and my exams also got delayed by a year. But all my final took 4 attempts total.
My God.
So I now it's a lot of
Now, if you look back then, you learn certain things from those failure as well. Now, your any failure in life would be like, ठीक है, वहां से I came out, I can do now anything in life if I can do that.
if
Right?
I came
CA
out of
students
that.
has that guts now. They can do anything now if they have done the CA and got that tag of CA. Right?
I agree because when I was failing continuously and I opened LinkedIn and everyone was sharing their past final mark sheets, and it made me feel like such a failure. Like, what am I doing with my life? Because everyone shared their achievements on LinkedIn, like
Right.
promoted, joining here, cleared exams, and it made me feel like very inferior. So out of the blue, I just started writing my feelings on, just open my phone, write it on notes, and
Wow.
I posted on LinkedIn. Like, I'm feeling this, why am I failing? And I'm stuck in a loop, and I'm seeing people who are flourishing in
Mm.
life, and I'm just stuck. And like, LinkedIn showed so much support that post went viral actually. So I
Wow.
got a lot of connection requests, and I was like, I can write. Maybe I should give it a try. And I didn't want to be. I mean, like, it was like not planned. I should be a content creator on LinkedIn. But then people resonated so much. Like, thank you for sharing. We are also going through the same.
My God.
And so I think that from that I started my LinkedIn journey.
Wow. Guys, she has over 38,000 followers. She hasn't mentioned it yet, but let me tell you, I maybe mentioned it loudly on my thumbnail, 38,000 plus followers on LinkedIn. But that's huge. That's really huge. I know I have been creating content since 2 years and reaching to 10,000 was like, oh my God. So
I know.
38,000 is a huge, huge, huge number, especially if you grow organically. It takes time, it takes a lot of efforts, and it takes a lot of consistency.
I agree.
So yeah, CA can do it. CA.
No, that CA tag I have is like a cushion for everything, right? I can give a try to
Right.
everything I want, and even if it does not work out, I can fall back on that. So
Right.
yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, now let me come back to another question. In the last episode, we had CA and he was working in finance field. So we understood that CAs can also work in finance fields, right? Now, because every time we hear CA, the first thing that comes into our mind is auditing, right? He would be associated with auditing. Now, you are another example that CAs can be involved in something other than ऑडिटिंग एज वेल आईटीआर से आगे भी है उनका रोल जो हमें अभी हमेशा 31st को याद आता है सो हाउ द सीए टैग्स एक्चुअली हेल्प यू इन ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग इन कंसल्टेंट
So basically, it's not like only CAs can get into transfer pricing, but the route changes. So, for example, I am a CA and someone who's an ACCA or someone who's an MBA can also be at where am I, but I will join as a consultant because I am a CA, but that person will join as an analyst.
ओके
So the work we do is same. To be very
ओके
honest, the work we'll do is same. But since I'm a CA, I'll be joining as a consultant. So there are two routes. MBA and a graduate or someone, if someone like an ACCA will go through an analyst route, and someone who's a CA will go through a consultant route.
ओके
So it's not like the work is only limited to CAs. There are MBAs in my team, ACCAs in my team, graduates in my team, in fact, who work on the same. It's just that when we join, we have a background and some experience through articleship that helps us to course through this.
राइट
Whereas for another fresher who will join here, it will be completely new and it will feel like belonging to a different world. But with time, I think both of them will perform the same work and both of them will have the same knowledge. It's just this in the start, there's some push because of the degree.
ओके 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 so this is maybe a very controversial question is the salary also same or is it different
No, there's difference, like good difference.
good difference between a
Yeah.
person, obviously, because of experience, it also
Because
matters.
of, yeah, like the years we put in and the struggle we go through, I think that the difference is because of that, and that's why the route is also different for them.
But at the end of the day, since you guys are, working in the same team, for example, ACCA has a 2 years of experience, as same as yours, 2 years of experience. Now you guys will be climbing the same stairs, right? Or will it
Exactly.
be different, like assistant manager, manager, or
No,
will it vary?
I think it is a little different. So, for example, I will go as a consultant and a senior consultant. That person will go as a analyst, senior analyst, and then a manager. But I think the roles are same, but the names are different. So the
Okay,
ladders
name
will
same.
be consistent, but with different routes.
Okay, but different names with different routes, but your work in the same team. You will work in the
Is
same team.
aligned equal. Yes, aligned samely.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, this is something that I got to know for the very first time. Okay, now let's go to another once again to the college student. Now, today's time, there would be thousands of courses that you see online, especially at the price of 99, 1,999, 4,999. These are the, certain prices. What are certain courses that you would suggest? For example, if I talk about my field, auditing, the first course that we suggest is Excel. Like, you have to be a good, master at Excel, not even good and the best, but you need to know the basics. At transfer pricing or at your field, what would be those courses that you would suggest to a student before coming on to the job?
Okay. So, for someone who is not from a CA background, in
Hmm.
fact, from someone who is also from a CA background, it's
Okay.
recommended. This course is called ADIT. So, it is basically based in Europe. So,
Okay.
it's basically a diploma in advanced diploma in international tax.
Okay.
So, it is a 1 year course, and someone who's also looking to join a job in India or outside India, because it has
Hmm.
a vast scope outside India also.
Okay.
And they also promise job opportunities and placements through their portal only. So it's very promising. It's called ADIT. And I don't know the cost, because I'm actually thinking of doing it if I'm planning to stay long term in transfer pricing. Most of
Right.
the people do that. And so for a fresher, I think ADIT is a lot helpful,
Okay.
because gives you a not a brief, a detailed understanding of transfer pricing as well as on international tax. So
Okay.
ADIT can help you a lot, because the small courses like 999, 499, there are many transfer pricing courses there, but they are very basic, which you can
Hmm.
gain through normal videos also, or studying on
YouTube
yourself.
videos.
Hmm.
Okay,
But
okay.
the detailed course is the ADIT one, which is a 1 year diploma.
That's amazing. And also, I believe if you do something like this and you tell it in the interview, this makes you different from rest of the crowd who is
Exactly.
actually applying, because interviewer will be like, okay, you have done the professional course, you are really interested to do this job, right?
Right. And ACCA can also help, like there are many ACCAs also in our profession, because they also study the same what we study. So ACCA is also helpful. Many people are pursuing ACCA
Right.
after school.
Guys, ACCA, job opportunities, scope. Whosoever asked me this question, we have a lot of jobs. We have a lot
Yeah.
of scope as well.
In fact, I was also considering, because after also who's someone who's a CA or a CA student and watching this, it's also like if you give after the exams after CA, so you get
Four.
a lot of exemptions.
Only 4 papers you need to
Yeah, you
appear.
just have to give
Two
4 papers.
SBR, SBL, and two optional paper.
Exactly.
And you guys are done with CA. Kajal is comma ACCA. Any other thing that you would like to add after your name?
Yeah.
But yeah, CAs, after CA, it becomes quite easier. Not easier, but yeah, you got a lot of exemptions. Of course, you guys deserve it since you have done a lot of hard work in CA.
Yes.
That's amazing. Now let's come to the, you know, LinkedIn part. Let's say today, in today's world, everybody wants to be a content creator because, especially after this Dolly Chai Wala and I don't know, all the influencers, everybody want to become a content creator either on LinkedIn or Insta. But every day, 1,000 comes in. At the end of the day, there are only one or two who will be actually consistent throughout. So what would be your suggestion to those students who really wish to have a strong personal brand on LinkedIn because you have really strong brand. So what would be your suggestion how to remain consistent, how to find your niche, how to write posts? Because through AI, everybody can write,
Mm.
right? There is no hard and fast rules
Exactly.
now. What would be your suggestion now?
So, actually, writing, I think I have experimented a lot and I have seen what works, what does not work. And I feel writing personalized content has worked for me the best,
Hmm.
sharing my interview experiences, my failure journey, and obviously AI can't write that. So, something,
Right.
and everything works differently for different people.
Hmm.
So, it's first of all hit and trial. You have, and for hit and trial, the most important part is being consistent. And procrastination is so much that we just like and to be honest, I'm starting my YouTube and Instagram, but I'm just doing only LinkedIn. So I understand that
Hmm.
that the starting part is so difficult that we keep procrastinating up kal se maybe tomorrow.
Correct.
But I think from all the platforms, LinkedIn is something you can easily start because it does not involve your face, it does not involve your voice. All it involves is writing and your
Right.
thoughts. So you can start easily, and being consistent is, so for example, some many people ask me, आप job के साथ ये करते कैसे हो, like how are you
Hmm.
consistent? So I think it's first of all, when you see people are resonating, people are liking your content, you are helping people,
You
it
get
helps.
motivated.
Yeah, you're motivated to do that. And also you can for example, what I do is, since I know that I'll be working from tomorrow, so what I do is
Hmm.
I schedule 5 to 6 posts for the whole week.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't get ideas, so I last week, like, I just did one post because I don't, because you just have that writer's block, and it's not like, what shall I write, you just don't get
Right.
ideas. But like if I sit and think about what I need to write, you just keep thinking, and you will get ideas.
Hmm.
Because as when you enter into content creation, हर चीज में कंटेंट दिखता है, मेट्रो में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो तो कंटेंट दिख रहा है,
I
ऑटो में जा रहे हो तो कोई लर्निंग
I agree. I agree.
तो
Let
वो छोटी छोटी चीजों में ना कंटेंट कंटेंट ही दिखता रहता है। तो वो एक तो माइंडसेट आ जाता है अपने आप ही, हर चीज में यू विल गेट कंटेंट। तो
it's
स्केड्यूलिंग पोस्ट फॉर समवन हु इज इन अ फुल टाइम जॉब,
right.
and if your post does not work, just be consistent. It's not like, "Oh, I got 100 likes on the first day."
You'll get 100 every day. That's not gonna
Exactly
happen.
not, मतलब it's not even possible. Sometimes I think like जो मैं बहुत दिल से लिखती हूँ, it will perform, but it does not. And one random
Hmm.
thought I just posted and it goes viral. So
Viral.
you don't know how LinkedIn works, how the algorithm works. You
Right.
just have to keep going and not be demotivated कि यार एक ही कमेंट आया, 10 likes आए. You have to मतलब ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि मुझे कंटेंट क्रिएशन में लाइक्स और फॉलोअर्स के अंदर नहीं घुसना, बट आई एम गेटिंग into it for helping people, and so that
Exactly.
people can actually like my content and not just for the sake of being a content creator.
Exactly, exactly. I completely agree. Honestly, the best part about content creation is when 90% of people are doing overthinking at 2 a.m., you are thinking about content. You don't have time to think
I
about other
know.
things in your life. You are thinking about content. So that's good thing because, it actually diverts your thought to a good thing. So yeah,
Right.
it happens to me a lot. Everybody's like, you never seem to be lot stressed. I feel like I am thinking content. Don't disturb me.
I know.
That happens, that happens. So finally we have come to an end of our podcast, and it was super amazing conversation, like it was very candid. And just to sum up what all happened in this particular podcast is we dwell into like transfer pricing, content creation, how to create a strong personal brand, interview tips, and one of the best course that you need to do for the transfer pricing. And guys, watch for the next episode. But before that, I would like to hear your experience. How was your experience in this podcast?
So my experience was total, like the conversation was very organic. Like I didn't have to think about what I have to say, and it was very candid. So I think we had a great conversation, and I
Right.
hope that it helps everyone
Exactly.
looking like watching this video. So yeah, it was amazing.
Actually, you know what? This happens with every episode. I send the guest with 10 questions. After 2 questions, I just close my notebook and the conversation keeps on going. And one day, actually, guest asked me, dude, you sent me 8 to the question, but you didn't ask. So that's
No,
what happened in the podcast that
that's
you just,
that's what's amazing.
yeah, that's like you communicate and your
Yeah.
actually viewers relate to it.
Yeah.
So that's it for this podcast, guys. I'll see you in episode 6, and he will be the guest from UK. So please go and watch that. Till then, bye bye, take care, and have a nice day.